Hello students. So in our last video we studied about Fleming's right hand rule, and we learnt about the electromagnetism, which is electricity from magnetism, where we studied that if we rotate a current carrying conductor in a magnetic field, then current induces in that conductor, which means that current starts flowing from that conductor, which is called as electromagnetic induction. And to know about the direction and magnetic field, we studied about the Fleming's right hand thumb rule. Now in this video we will study about generator, electric generator, which is of two types, AC and DC. So in detail we will see about their construction and how do they work, and how a generator is different from a motor. That we need to understand in this video. So before we go to the construction and all, we should know about the principle, that on which principle electric generator works, or what is its main function. So the principle of electric generator is when a straight conductor is moved in a magnetic field, then current is induced in the conductor, which is the principle that we have already studied earlier, that if we will move a conductor in a magnetic field, then current will induce in that conductor, means current will start flowing in that conductor. Okay. And what does an electric generator do? So electric generator converts mechanical energy into electrical energy. So how does it convert mechanical into electrical? This we will see in the when we'll study about the working and construction about that generator, then we'll see about it. Okay, how does it changes the mechanical energy into electrical energy. Okay, but that is the only main function of the electric generator, that it changes mechanical energy into electrical energy. So first of all we'll study about the AC generator. Okay, so now let's see how does a AC generator works and what are its components. So you can see in this picture here two bar magnets, a current carrying conductor ABCD, and two slip rings are there, one galvanometer is there, and two carbon brushes, and one straight dotted line you can see in the picture, that is the picture of shaft. Okay, so one by one we will see about their function. So we all know that it is when we rotate a current carrying conductor in a magnetic field, so we do need to have a magnetic field with us. That's why we have two magnets over here, which is a horseshoe magnet, you can see that. Okay, so here we are using two permanent bar magnets whose north pole and south pole you can see, and in between the north pole and south pole we are rotating a current carrying conductor ABCD. Okay, whose 2 points are connected to the slip rings R1 and R2, and those slip rings are connected to the carbon brushes B1 and B2. What is the function of carbon brushes? We have already studied in construction of motor, that it maintains the connection between the rotating part without rotating with that part. Okay, like a ball bearing. Okay, so a ball bearing, its first part is fixed and another part moves, so that is how it maintains the contact as well as it moves, it rotates without rotating itself. So कार्बन ब्रशेस डू द सेम, ये कांटेक्ट में रहते हैं स्लिप रिंग्स के, बट स्लिप रिंग्स के साथ रोटेट नहीं करते हैं, बस उनके साथ कांटेक्ट में रहते हैं। और कांटेक्ट में रहने के साथ साथ ये करंट को खुद से पास कराते हैं. वी नो दैट द कार्बन इज अ गुड कंडक्टर ऑफ electricity. That's why we use carbon process here. Okay, so now let's see how does the AC generator works. So we have already seen that it converts mechanical energy into electrical energy. Now we will rotate this coil ABCD through mechanical energy. How will we provide that mechanical energy? With the help of this shaft. When we will rotate this shaft in anti-clockwise direction, okay, then with that shaft, that this coil ABCD will start rotating. So now let us consider we are rotating this shaft in anti-clockwise direction. Then here AB will move in downward direction and CD will move in upward direction. So when AB will move in downward direction and CD will move in upward direction, while moving they will cut the magnetic fields produced near them. Like AB will cut the magnetic field produced near north pole and CD will cut the magnetic field produced near south pole. After half rotation, their direction will change. So while rotating AB and CD, you can see that when the current will produce in this conductor, the direction of current will be from D to C and B to A. Okay, this we can get through the Fleming's right hand rule, that what is the direction of current induced in this conductor. Okay, so by using that right hand thumb rule, we got that the direction of current is from D to C and from B to A while rotating the shaft in anti-clockwise direction when AB is moving downward and CD is moving upward in that case. Now after half revolution, what will happen? The AB will come to the right side and CD will come to the left side. Now CD will go down and AB will come up, right? Now AB will cut the magnetic field of south pole and CD will cut the magnetic field of north pole. In that case, the direction of current will change and it will become from A to B and C to D. Okay, so that is how we can see that after every half revolution the current will change its direction. Why it will change its direction? Because the conductor cuts the different magnetic field. Okay, earlier AB was cutting the magnetic field produced in the north pole, whereas later AB will cut the magnetic field produced near the south pole, so that the direction of current will change accordingly. Okay, earlier it was from B to A, now it is from A to B. Okay, and then that induced current comes to these two slip rings. Okay, where from carbon, with the help of carbon process, we take out that current. Okay, and we can save that current into a battery, or we can transfer it through the transformer. Here in this picture you can see the galvanometer is given. So this galvanometer just shows that the current is induced in the magnetic field, conductor. Okay, so that is how the electric generator works. When we rotate the shaft in anti-clockwise direction, AB will go down, CD will come up. AB will cut the magnetic field produced towards north pole and CD will cut the magnetic field towards south pole, so that the direction of current is from B to A and D to C. Then after half revolution, AB will come to the right side and CD will come to the left side. In that case, AB will cut the magnetic field produced near the south pole and CD will cut the magnetic field produced near the north pole. That's why the direction of current will change and it will become from A to B and C to D. That's why in AC current, current changes its direction every time. Means in each one complete revolution, the current will change its direction 2 times. Okay, in every half revolution, it is changing its direction. So in one complete revolution, it will change its direction 2 times. Okay, and then with the help of the slip ring and carbon brushes, we take that current out and we use it in different places. Okay, so here now the point comes that why do we call it as AC current? Because it changes its direction. Here you can see in this sine wave that when once it becomes positive, then negative, then positive, then negative, it completely changes its direction, positive, negative. That's why it is called as alternating current, which alternates its direction each and every time. Okay, so in India, all over India, wherever current is being produced, okay, in all thermal power plants, the same process is going on. Okay, everywhere with the help of shaft, they rotate the armature which cuts the magnetic field, and because of that, electricity is being produced. That is the only thing is which is being done in all over India. Okay, and the frequency produced in India, the alternating current produced in India has frequency of 50 Hertz. Now we'll try to understand this line, that frequency 50 Hertz means in every second the shaft rotates 50 times. Okay, that is the frequency. Means in each second the shaft of every power plant, okay, is rotating 50 times. That's why it cuts the flux 2 times, which means in every second the current is changing its direction 2 times, which means in 1 second current will change its direction 100 times. Okay, or we can say that alternating current produced in India reverses its direction in every 1/100 second. Okay, so you can understand by any of the line that in every 1 second alternate current changes its direction 100 times, or alternate current in India changes its direction 1/100 per second. Okay, so that's why we call it as alternate current, which changes its direction each and every time. So in every powerhouse the same work is being done. Okay, and a small example of AC generator is dynamo, which was being used in bicycles earlier time. Now you can't see that, but earlier people used to have dynamo in their bicycle, which they used to light at the time of night. Okay, now we will see the construction and working of DC generator. So DC generator is not much different from the AC generator. Okay, you can see that construction looks almost same. The only difference is we are using slip rings, we are using commutators in place of slip rings. These two things, okay, in this pic here you can see that this one is called slip ring. Okay, so earlier in AC generator we were using slip rings, but now in DC generator we are using commutator. Why are we using commutator? So the function of commutator is it changes the direction of current. Okay, so when we replace the commutator with slip rings, what happens? on each revolution, when the shaft rotates completely, okay, in anti-clockwise direction, then we saw that the current was changing its direction two times, you know, from A to B and then B to A. But when we use commutator, commutator's function is it just changes the direction of current. Means the shaft will rotate in one complete rotation of shaft, the current will change its direction two times. Okay. But when the current will come out with the help of carbon brushes, when the current will come out, it will have only one direction. It will not have two different directions. Okay. That's why we use commutator in DC current. So why do we need to have a DC current? So DC current means direct current. Okay, here you can see the graph of DC current, which is always positive in. So why do we have DC current? Because in DC current voltage remains constant, but in AC current voltage doesn't remains constant because it is continuously changing its direction. As once it becomes positive, then negative, then positive, then negative, so that the fluctuation of voltage is there. Okay, to remove that fluctuation, we use commutator. Okay, and the direction becomes constant. That's why in all electronic gadgets you can see that electronic gadget consumes DC current. Okay, in mobile, when you charge your mobile, you use adapter to charge your mobile. And what is the function of that adapter? That adapter also changes the direction of current. It makes the AC to DC. In your house, AC current is flowing everywhere. Okay, so with the help of adapter, we change that AC current to DC current, and then we charge our phone. So most of the places where you are using electronic gadgets, that electronic gadgets need constant current, and to provide constant current to that electronic gadget, we use an adapter everywhere, to which just changes the type of current. It makes AC current to DC current because their voltage remains constant. But another point is the AC current is far more powerful than the DC current. It has more strength than the DC current, because you can see that the positive current, the DC current has only positive half cycle, which means it has the half of the strength which AC current had. Okay, AC current, as AC current had complete full revolution, so whether it was positive or negative, the strength was high, but it has less strength. Okay, so that's why we produce AC current, and wherever we need, we use DC current as per our need by changing AC to DC. Okay, so now I'd like to remind you the construction of motor. Okay, so motor and generator have almost same type of construction. You can see both of them have almost same construction, but the principle and working of both of them are completely different. So when you study about motor or generator, then try to understand both of them at once. Okay, means if we will study properly about the motor, then it will become easy for us to understand generator, and if we have understood generator properly, then it will become easy for us to understand construction of motor. That's why I am presenting the difference between both of them, so that you will better understand it. So here you can see the construction of motor. It has carbon two magnets, okay, which the generator had. Okay, the motor had a current carrying conductor which was rotating. Here also it was there. Okay, motor had a shaft. Okay, here also we can see the shaft. Motor had two carbon brushes. Here also we have two carbon brushes, right? Now let's see the difference. The difference is the motor has a power supply, so it changes electrical energy into mechanical energy. Okay, the function of motor is it changes electrical energy into mechanical energy, whereas a generator changes mechanical energy into electrical energy. See, completely opposite of motor. In motor, electrical energy was being converted into mechanical energy. Here, mechanical energy is being converted into electrical energy. So, in motor, we were using a power supply, whereas in generator, we are using a galvanometer or a place or a transformer or a battery where we can store that electricity. So that is the difference between the motor and generator. You will say that a commutator is also there. So commutator is also present in DC generator. Here also commutator we have. Okay. So everything, the components are almost same, but the working is quite different. In motor, we were rotating the shaft with the help of electricity, and we were getting the mechanical force. Here we are rotating the shaft by the mechanical force, and we are getting the electrical energy. So how do we rotate shaft? That question arises in generator. So in generators, to rotate a shaft, we use a huge thermal power plant. Like we in thermal power plant, we can say that to rotate, just to rotate the shaft, this shaft, okay, which you don't see properly, but that plays a very important role in thermal power plant. Just to rotate this shaft, okay, the boiler is being used. With that boiler boils the water, and that water changes into steam. Then we heat that steam properly so that it becomes superheated steam. Then that superheated steam comes with the help of nozzle to the shaft, which is turbine, which is called as turbine in thermal power plants. So that hot superheated steam falls on the turbine's blade, and when that turbine rotates, the shaft rotates, and with the help of this shaft, this armature rotates, and electricity is being produced. So that is the construction of AC and DC generator, and the difference between the AC and motor and the generator. Okay, so for your preparation, I want each one of you to just write the differences between these two, and then construct the picture. That diagram is very important of both AC and motor and generator, because in exam it is a very obvious question. It may likely to come that explain the construction or working of motor or generator. Okay, so you need to have practice of constructing the picture of a generator and motor as well as, okay, and write its working and construction 1 or 2 times so that it will remain in your mind for a longer time. Okay, so this was the process of production of electricity. Okay, or you can say that inducing current. So induced current has one more way. Okay, that here you can see that two pictures are given. Coil A and coil B are rotated around the magnet. Okay, the rod which you can see, the yellow rod, it is a magnet. Okay, so when we pass current to this coil, okay, when we pass current to this coil, here you can see the battery. Okay, so when you will pass current to this coil, the current will uh, this will induce current to this coil. Here also it is a magnet, okay, but this coil does not have any current earlier. Here we have just only one galvanometer. Okay, so when these two comes closer and we pass current in this coil, then the current will induce in the second coil. Here the current will induce. Okay, so this is how we induce the current in electromagnetic coils. Okay, that is the induction of current. Hence you are producing current, you are passing current here in this coil, and current is being induced in this coil. Okay, so that is also a method of inducing current, but through this method you will get a very weak current. Okay, so for today, up to here I think it will be okay. About the domestic circuits and other things we'll see in our next video. Okay, and I think in our next video only we'll complete this chapter. Most of the things I've already covered in this video. Only few things are remaining. We will finish that in next video. Okay, till then keep studying, work hard, because you are in class 10, so you need to work hard, very hard. Okay, so all the best. Bye, take care.